Hey everybody, and welcome to Classic Racers Elite, a brand new game that came out the beginning of the month that the developers were kind enough to give us a free key for. And the name, Classic Racers, is kind of interesting because it makes me wonder, are they talking about the game as being classic race cars? Or is a throwback to classic racing games? And the answer to that is kind of yes. Both, actually. Now, if you've played a lot of racing games recently, you know most of them have a mode called Time Attack, or some variation. And the goal of that mode is to get from the start to the finish within a certain time frame. That is what Classic Racers Elite is. It is an entire game that is focused on that one aspect. And after spending about an hour with the game, I can say that it does that very well. The graphics are good, the car handles very well, the sound is good, everything you want in a racing game is here. As long as what you want is that one mode. And that's kind of the strength and weakness of the game. As I was playing through it, I realized that I wanted more. I wanted to race against other cars. I wanted more than just a time attack. In a lot of ways, the game reminds me of Wreckfest, which is still one of my favorite racing games of all time. And that's what kind of disappointed me a little bit about this game. The potential is there for so much more than we actually get. Now, that probably says a little bit more about me than the game, because the game delivers on what it promises, what it sets out to do. You against the clock on a road track. And faulting a game for not giving us more than it set out to do is not fair. I do wish the environments were a little more destructible, just to add a little fun to it. But again, that's not what the developers were going for. They were going purely for the fun racing aspect, and this game delivers that. Now, the game has a campaign mode and a free play mode. But like most games, unfortunately, you have to play through the campaign to unlock the different tracks and the different cars that are available to you. There is no co-op, there is no multiplayer, this is a single-player only game. But that's not a bad thing. And like I said at the beginning, it's sort of a throwback to the classic arcade games of old, but with the technology of today. There is very little in the way of car customization. You can just change the color, and there are no upgrades. None of the cars are licensed, but it's pretty easy to tell what they are supposed to be. And there's probably about 15 or so different types of cars that you can choose from. You can see them all in the free play. But just like the tracks, they have to be unlocked before you can use them. So that's a little disappointing, but not unexpected. And like any good racing game, the different cars do handle very differently. So finding the right car on the right track is kind of what the game is all about. Now, this game is available on PC at the Steam store, and it is also available on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. All of the footage you're seeing today was captured off of the PlayStation version. I don't know if there are plans for an Xbox version, but there is not one yet. So there's a good amount of content here. There's 12 different campaigns, and I think there's 50 or so total races. And then, like I said, the 15 or so cars you can choose from. And I believe the developer plans to add more to the game as they continue. But that's what this game is. So if you're just trying to play through it, you'll probably get 3 to 4 hours of game out of it. There are global leaderboards so that you have something to compete against to try and get your time down and bring replay to it. But how much you'll get out of the game really depends on you as an individual. I mean, what you've seen today is what this game is. As I said at the beginning, what it does very well. But for me personally, the game does not justify its price. There's too much potential left on the table. And I realize that's not entirely fair, because time attack is not one of the modes I normally gravitate towards in racing games. And this is enjoyable, even for me. So I guess in the end, I can't drive. So I guess in the end, the question really is, are you a fan of time attack games? Because if you are, this is a good game. And it's definitely worth taking a look at. But if you want more out of a racing game than time attack, then you probably should pass on it. And I think that's going to do it for our review of Classic Racers Elite. If you enjoy seeing new games on the channel, please hit that like button to let us know, and we'll keep bringing you more of it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's a great way to help us grow this channel, and you never miss an episode of content. We'll be back soon with more videos for you guys, and as always, thanks for watching.